We spoke briefly last time about gratitude, and this is such a big thing that it's worth talking about a little bit more. Being in a state of gratitude is the perfect way to use the law of attraction, because when you're grateful for things in your life, you're attracting to you more things to be grateful for. You see how that works? It's kind of simple, but so if you're grateful for your car, if you're grateful for your home, for your clothes, or for your job, for anything that you're grateful for attracts more of that to you. So a really good thing that I do that I mentioned is I make a gratitude list several times a day. Now, a lot of people do this, and I'll tell you how I do it. There are different ways to go about it. It's a very positive thing if you want to write it down or type it on your computer maybe. And if you want to write this list or type it, then that's fine. But you can also do it anytime when you're out and about, when you're walking somewhere or driving. You can do it in your head, make a mental list. Say, right now I'm going to come up with 10 things that I'm grateful for in my life, and just start knocking them off. And don't overlook the little things. I'll give you a personal example. When I'm driving in the car, a lot of people consider that to be just wasted time. You know, you're driving, it's boring, you want to get there. I tend to use that time to make gratitude lists, and I'll sit in the car and I'll begin making a list, and say I'm having kind of an off day and I'm not feeling particularly grateful that day. Then I'll start looking at even the small things. I'll say, my car's running well. You know, I'm not having flat tires. My car runs well. I have a good car, and I'm grateful for that. You know, I have a nice home to come home to. There's a nice place that I'm going. I'm going out to get some food, and it's a good restaurant, and I'm grateful for that. I'll start with these sort of mundane, everyday life things. The more that you start with these basic things, the more of those things you actually get. It helps to put you in that good feeling place of having abundance in your life. And that's really where you want to be. So, of course, you can go to bigger things, and you should move on to being grateful for bigger things, like people that are in your life. Like, often, I will make a gratitude list, and I will say, I'm going to name 10 people that I'm grateful for in my life, and I'm going to think to myself why I'm grateful for this person. Because by not just making the list and putting people's names, but by actually putting the why in there, why I'm grateful for this person, then it starts my mind thinking in that way of feeling that gratitude. If you're having a really rough day, and we all have them from time to time, then you may find it difficult to find things you're grateful for. You feel, right now I don't feel very grateful for anything. And understand that that's the worst place you can be. Because when you get in that feeling, and I'm not saying you're a bad person if you do it, I've done it, everyone's been in that kind of day before, it happens sometimes. But if you get in that kind of feeling place, like I don't see anything to be grateful for in this situation, if you get there, that's the vibe you're putting out, that nothing is good in my situation, and guess what you're attracting back to you? Nothing good. Because you've already put out that vibe that there is nothing good. But if you will start with the basic things, if you will say, I have fresh running water in my home. And, you know, that seems like a basic thing if you live in the Western world, but many people, millions of people in the world don't have that. And you say, I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful that I do have that. Because many people don't, and I do, and I'm very lucky. And I feel very wealthy and privileged because of that. You know, I was able to get an education and go to school. Some people aren't. I feel privileged and grateful because of that. So don't overlook the little things. If you've got a shelter over your head, be grateful for it, because there are people that don't, and you know that. So no matter what's going on in your life at any given moment, there are always things that you could and should feel grateful for. So I won't beat this horse too much longer, but I just want to really get the idea in your mind that gratitude is the way to go. Making gratitude lists every day. And if you do this often enough, it becomes a habit. I'm used to making 3 or 4, maybe 5 gratitude lists a day, mostly in my mind, while I'm out and about, walking, driving, doing something else. And it becomes a habit, and I can't go a day now without thinking about what I'm grateful for. And I know, I can guarantee you, that's just improved my life 1,000%, because it keeps me in a state of appreciating and feeling those feelings about what is good. You know, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I have nice clothes, I have a good home, I have a car, I have all these things that I'm grateful for, you know. And then as you get more things, you can be grateful for those. You can say, I have a great business, I have a great income as things improve. And whenever something good happens in your life, be sure that you take time to feel gratitude for it, feel grateful for it, and feel how, a good way to remember that is this: it doesn't have to be that way. If you're doing well at work and you have a good income, other people are not and don't have a good income. So it doesn't have to be that way, but it is for you, so be grateful that it is, okay? So this is just reminding you to stay in that good state of feeling appreciative and grateful for everything, even the little things. Don't delay, don't think about it later, just start right now having a gratitude list every day, several times a day. Make a gratitude list, write it down, or do it in your mind, or both. That's even better. It will help your life, I promise you that. Visualizing involves using your imagination. And we have some sessions with the Attract Anything program to help you with that. But you can also do a lot on your own. And visualizing, let's just talk first about the imagination. There are two ways you can use imagination. Worry. Benjamin Franklin said worry is the misuse of the imagination. And that's pretty much spot on. That's correct. Because when you're worrying about something, you're using your imagination to create something that you don't want. Think about that. Whenever you're worried about, I'm worried about losing my job, you're thinking about it and you're creating a scene in your mind. You're creating pictures in your mind of it happening. You're creating something you don't want with your imagination. Now, the proper use of your imagination is the opposite. Not to worry, to create what you don't want, but to use your mind to create what you do want. Close your eyes, take a little time to yourself. It doesn't have to be a formal thing where you sit down and meditate. Just take a few moments to yourself, sit down or lie down for just a few minutes, once or twice a day, more if you can. And just as you're sitting down, just close your eyes and just see yourself living the life that you want. See yourself already having it and feeling grateful that you have it. If you want a new BMW, see yourself driving that BMW and feeling grateful. We live in a materialistic society where we're not taught to use our imagination and visualize things. And because of that, sometimes our imaginations get kind of rusty. We're not that good at it, frankly. But the more you do it, the better you will get at it. And now if you start out and what's happening is I'm really trying to see myself in that BMW that I want, or in that job I want, or having the partner that I want. But what's happening is these negative thoughts keep coming in saying, you don't have that, you don't have that. Now that can happen to anyone. It's just a little give and take that goes on for a while. So if you have that sort of situation where you sit down and you try to visualize what you want and the negative things are popping in, one really good thing to do is just stop. Maybe you're not in the mood to do it right then. And you should never do it. You should never force it if you're in a bad mood. You need to go with the flow. If you're feeling like I'm not in the flow of this right now and I'm just thinking about negative things, well, put it aside and don't feel bad about it, because there's nothing to feel bad about. Just put it aside and pick it up later. Try it another time. And the other thing is, people will tell me, well, John, I've tried doing that, but after 5 or 6 minutes, I get bored, or I get this, or I start thinking negative things. And I say, well, why do it 5 or 6 minutes then? If you can only do it 1 minute, if you can only do it 30 seconds and hold that feeling, that's much better than nothing. 30 seconds of really feeling that feeling of already having what you want is far better than 10 minutes or 20 or 30 of kind of having that feeling. If you can make a start, even if you can only do it for 15 seconds, I don't care, whatever it is, do it. Do it. You will never regret that you do this, okay? And once you get where you can hold it for 15 or 20 or 30 seconds, then with practice, you'll be able to hold it for a minute. And then as you go, you'll be able to hold it for 2 or 5 minutes, or even 10 if you want to. The more I see myself in the position I want to be in, the the more the position I want to be in comes rushing toward me because of the law of attraction. I'm feeling those feelings of already having what I want. So if I want a certain car, I feel myself already having it, driving in it, think about where I'm going to park it, where I'm going to put it, all these things. And it comes rushing toward me. And that's how I've created so many things in my life, and that's how you can do it as well. I'll talk to you more about this in the next session.